I'm Sam Stedman, and for my video about interviewing a project manager, I decided to interview my brother. My brother is currently 30 years old, and he's been working for Target for about 7 or 8 years now. And I decided to ask him instead of somebody else because I know he'd give me some really good answers about project management and also some really truthful answers. Um, that I think would be good for the class to hear. And so I just decided to email him because it would just we couldn't meet person to person because we're a couple hours away. So the first question that I asked my brother was, where do you currently work? What's your job title? That kind of question. And he said, currently I'm a group manager and store operations of healthcare. And other than that, he really didn't say much about it. But what I know is that he works at headquarters in Minneapolis. So the second question I decided to ask my brother was, how do you manage client expectations? And what he said we do something called issue framing, where we spend time with our partners slash clients, understanding the problem and shaping our response to that problem. One thing that he highlighted was they have very clear communication up front. He said, be clear about commitments and timelines and don't overcommit. So I thought this was really significant just because he kind of highlighted, obviously, the importance of communication and just being very clear about it, very truthful about it, and just being upfront face to face with them. Because he said that's the most reliable way to communicate with coworkers and also stakeholders. Um, in addition, he said, be clear about commitments and timelines and don't overcommit. I thought this was something interesting just because we learned it in class as well, with just obviously making milestones, timelines, and committing to that stakeholder or that person that you wants this project done. But he highlighted don't overcommit. So, like we talked about in class, give yourself time. Give yourself time at the end of a project um, to uh, obviously have some leeway. So if something does go wrong, you're still able to get that project off in a good amount of time. So question three I decided to ask my brother was what kind of problems are typical in a project? He said communication breakdowns and foreseeable roadblocks that weren't addressed. He said when people rush into delivery or results and don't consider obstacles, the project will stall. So more often than not, these obstacles are people that you didn't keep adequately informed throughout the project, aka stakeholders. So again, my brother highlights just the importance of communication. The number one thing that came to his mind when I asked him what kind of problems are typical in a project, the first thing he says are communication breakdowns, um, and foreseeable roadblocks, which obviously connects with communication. So again, I find this really interesting just because it just really highlights the importance of communication. And for you to be a successful project manager, you have to just have really good communication skills, or your project won't be successful, or be really delayed. So for question four, that I decided to ask my brother, I said, what suggestions do you have for managing schedules, managing costs, and managing people? He said, clearly define the budget up front and identify where you have agility within a budget. Budgeting is not where you want to round numbers or make general assumptions. As part of any business proposal I make at work, I have to include the cost slash benefit analysis. So basically, with this, um, with a budget, he really highlights don't round numbers or make general assumptions. I'll see with this, have in a project, obviously you really want some skilled people know what they're doing with numbers. I'll say make a correct and accurate budget. As well, he says after that he analyzes the cost slash benefits um, of the project, and so obviously, like what we've said in class, is for a project manager, he needs to make sure that how much they're paying to finish the project. Um, Obviously, he needs to compare that with the benefits of making that project. So, obviously, uh, he analyzes how much they have to spend on a project. and how much they're planning to make on it. So with that, just he analyzes every budget they make and make sure that with that budget they'll come out with a good amount of profit, and so that time isn't wasted and that money isn't wasted. Okay, so for the last question that I decided to ask my brother, I asked him, what advice would you have for a college student regarding project management and business? He said, take partners. He said, you want an expert in everything, so know when to take partners who are experts in what you need. This isn't a weakness, it's smart business. And he also said, be humble and inquisitive in your approach. This will engage those around you and make you approachable throughout, not to mention deliver a better result. So with this said, I found it really significant that he said, take partners, ask for help. I think this is obviously a really important thing because as a project manager, you're not an expert in everything. So it is important to really invest time into the people you're hiring and find people that really know what they're doing and can do a professional job on it. This will make you look better and also make the project, you know, finish earlier and make the project look better. And also you'll probably make a better profit and have better quality. And then also he said, people before process. That's really an important thing. He says, if you don't have the right people / team around you, failure to deliver is almost certain. And so with this, obviously, it's really important that you communicate with the people that you're interviewing about hiring, because if first of all, if you don't start with the right people, people that aren't running the work, people that don't know what they're doing, people that aren't professional in what they're doing, he says your failure to deliver is almost certain. And so with that said, guys, I hope you got a lot from the video, um, and I hope you in the future can learn more and be a better project manager if you're ever that.